Welcome to Talk Pro to Me, the podcast where we talk about our passion, the purpose, and the paths that led us to the professional remodeling organization, Pro. We are excited you're here. I'm Sarah Waters. I'm your host. Now let's build something great. This episode is brought to you by Sinovation, where brands show up and win. Welcome to this month's podcast. I'm excited to have our guest today, Lauren Borcyk, owner of Kitchen Tune-Up. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you've been a member with Pro 2 years now, maybe? Yeah. Tell us what led you to Kitchen Tune-Up?
Yeah, so I decided to buy Kitchen Tune-Up. It's a franchise. So I bought the Omaha location right out of college. I'd been working in remodeling for 10 years prior and absolutely loved it. So I started in remodeling when I was 14, when I could first legally work,
Wow.
and it was hands-on install. I loved it, loved every bit of it, and I got a lot of wiggle room to design rooms the way that I wanted them to be. And that role kind of developed into project management. Still absolutely loved it. Worked that job all through college. Basically got to the point at the end of my undergrad career where I thought to myself, well, I'm applying to grad schools here, but I'm going in a completely different field than I've ever worked in before. And who knows if I'll actually enjoy it or want to do it long term. Why not just invest in a business and do something that I've loved for 10 years already and be able to build something for myself in the future? And so that's kind of how I got here. And I looked at a bunch of different franchises. There were a lot of different options in the area, but I knew that I needed to go the franchise route because obviously I was young coming out of college and I needed some more support than you generally need. You know, I needed help with marketing and how to be a manager, things like that.
Kitchen Tune-Up, you've got a space. You have been in business 3 years. What kind of services do you offer?
Yeah. Kitchen Tune-Up offers 5 core services. So the first is what we call wood restoration or the original tune-up. That's going to be if a homeowner has wood cabinets and maybe they're 30 years old, they're scuffed up, or they have a dog and it scratches the wood cabinets. We can come in and make those cabinets 90% like new in a day.
Wow.
So really quick turnaround. It's great for homeowners that are moving in or moving out soon and just want to make the house look nice.
Yeah.
So that's our first service. We also paint cabinetry, which is pretty self-explanatory, but we're dealing with cabinets day in and day out. So we know how to paint cabinets well and make it durable. We do redooring and refacing services.
Okay.
So this is where we can change the style of your cabinetry in your kitchen. If you have built-ins, really any cabinetry, we can change the style of the cabinets without having to replace the cabinet boxes or your countertops or backsplash. So you can save quite a bit of money using the reface service. A lot of people have oak cabinets right now, golden oak, and they want to have a white shaker door.
Yeah.
That service would bring you to a white shaker door style, more modern style, without having to completely redo the kitchen. And that service is done in 1 to 2 weeks. We're really quick about it.
It's a remodel like that. A whole kitchen could take 6 months,
Heck
9
yeah.
months at times. Yeah.
Yeah, the average is 6 months.
Wow.
And then we do full kitchens as well.
So really someone can go to you and they can just do, like you said, you can just get those cleaned up a little bit, or you can do an entire gut out and a whole new kitchen, or they could just reface and a simple, you can kind of do all the different things that meet a budget.
Yeah, and we've done combos too. I mean, that's the perk of working with us, that we offer all of these services and they're all at different price points too. So if a homeowner has a goal or an investment level that they're kind of looking at, we can work with that. It's not like we just have one option to replace your cabinets and that's it. So we've combined our services before where a client wants a reface on the kitchen, but maybe they do want to keep their wood cabinets in another space. So we tune up one, reface the other.
So are you guys a general contractor? Do you handle, so they can work with you on that too? Yeah. If they need to put new granite or something on top as well, you can assist with that process.
Well. Yep.
Wow. So it's a great one-stop shop for a consumer.
One-stop shop.
Awesome. Sure. I love it. Yeah. So 14, you started in that field and it was natural for you from the get.
Yeah. Totally.
And then you said you decided, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. How many years in? When did Kitchen Tune-Up come to fruition? 3 years. Yeah. Kudos to you. It's hard to get to 3 years, right? It's a challenge. Mm-hmm. What has that meant for you in terms of becoming a business owner?
Yeah, it's been really neat to see the flexibility that my husband and I have in our goals, because it's kind of shifted. We got married really young too. And so, you know, what we thought we were going to do with our lives 4 years ago is different than we thought now. And so it's been neat because the business has gotten to grow with my family.
How many kiddos? You got 2 now?
Yeah, I've
3?
got 2 kids.
2. What is
Uh-huh.
it? How do we find that balance? I know a lot of women in the field, any field, I think we find that trying to balance and be a mom and let alone work, but own a business, run that business is a challenge.
Oh, it's crazy.
How do you are you able to find that balance, or is that one of the struggles you have as a mom and business owner?
Yeah, so my kids play a big role in the business that I have. I had my first kid 9 months into owning the business,
Wow.
and so I figured out that I was gonna have a kid when I started the business, and that kind of forced me into needing to hire people that I trust to run the business when I'm not around at a
Sure.
very early stage. And so 9 months into the business, I needed to completely check myself out and know that the people I hired were gonna do things well in the way that I needed it to be done. So I think that's really what has helped. I think a lot of people don't understand that you'd need to delegate in
Mhm.
order to be a mom in business, but also, like, allow yourself some flexibility to include your kids in things too. And I'm very open to bringing my kids to work with me. That's a blessing to me, be able to have them around, and I'm very open about that with my clients too.
Yeah.
Every single one of my clients, my homeowners, know that I'm a mom, and so I'm not gonna be responding on Saturday night at 10
Good for
PM.
you.
There's gonna be those lines drawn, and my homeowners understand that, but there's also some clarification that you need to have there too.
Wow.
Um,
It seems like you figured it out so early, getting in there, setting. I mean, to say you really started to work on your business, right? You weren't stuck in it.
right.
How do you know that you were able to build that trust with your employees to know if I'm going to leave and be gone, I can leave this in someone else's hands?
Yeah, I don't really know how that trust grew, but I've always been a natural born leader and have a tendency to surround myself with really good people. And so I think that's just a natural talent to be able to find
Sure.
good people that I trust, and want to surround myself with. I think a big factor is when I'm bringing somebody into my team, I need to know that if I don't feel comfortable with them, then my homeowners won't. And
Yeah.
so, that's my perspective when I'm hiring people on is
Are you kind of, I heard the motto or the saying, it's slow to hire, quick to fire.
oh,
Are you a believer in
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had to do that in the past, but
Yeah.
it works out in our favor because
Trust yourself.
if you don't trust people, yourself, then you shouldn't be trusting them in your clients'
Yeah.
homes.
You need people that are invested and willing to do the work and know
Yeah.
that when you're there, they're still going to follow through. And
And
that's
willing to
important.
grow too in the
Yeah.
position, because well, I bring on a lot of people around my age, and so there's a lot of wiggle room in what I can train people to do and how open their mind is to learning new things, and so that's really beneficial too. But if I find that somebody I'm gonna potentially hire isn't learning things very quickly or isn't open to trying new things, then that's doesn't fit
Yeah.
into our
It just
culture.
slows down everything, right?
Yeah.
You guys have a good team. How many members do you have now in your
Yeah.
staff?
Yeah, I have 6 employees.
6 employees. And how have you built morale? Like, what has been so key to making sure people enjoy coming to work every day?
Yeah, I mean, we do events together, throughout the year,
Yeah,
so
team building.
team building, yeah, so we're going golfing. We went to a pro
Oh,
golfing tournament
yeah,
in
that's
the
a fun
past too, and
time.
that was really fun, but Topgolf, going to random lunches, or breakfasts. I started something end of 2024 where if we got a review from a homeowner, I would take my employees out to lunch, and I think that alone has built a lot of
Yeah,
culture in my company because everybody's working together to get these reviews, and we're open about it with the homeowners too, and
love
we'll
it.
joke around it with our homeowners. They're like, "Okay, we really wanna get a lunch from Lauren, so can you write us a review?" And every time the homeowner's like, "Yes, I'll do that for
That's
you."
great. I love that idea.
But also just treating people like humans too. Just like things like PTO, allowing people to take time off when they need to, and I'm very flexible about that because I know that we're human and things pop up.
Yeah,
So being too hard about that, I think affects culture and morale a lot.
absolutely. Especially if they've shown you they're trustworthy and you know they're reliable. It's like
Exactly.
that's a perk of being that type of employee.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys in your short time with Pro, you've entered a Contractor of Excellence Award, silver.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard thing to get your first year entering. So
Yeah, it was really
kudos to you
exciting.
guys. You've done the home tour. You have been nominated as a new member of the year because you've been actively engaged.
Mhm.
How important do you think it is for a business like yourself, especially a newer business, to get involved in associations like Pro?
Oh my goodness, so important. I built relationships from the beginning. A member of Pro brought me into this, and a bunch of other people had actually recommended it too that are in the home remodeling world. But at first I was like, "Oh, I mean, I'm fine. I'm in my other networking groups. It's okay." But I joined Pro and immediately it was apparent to me that this is a group of remodelers specific.
Mhm.
You can do as much as you want in networking, trying to get your brand out there in the Omaha area specifically. But if you're not involved with remodelers, I mean, it's an extra level that you get to go to. So I built relationships with people would say direct competitors, but they're not
Mhm.
direct competitors
Very true.
in this group. And that's just beautiful to be able to have candid conversations about what's going on in your business and what you need to fix and being able to ask for advice and actually be heard in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, pro has been amazing.
You mentioned the mentoring. So I think that's a big piece of what we do. It's very education based and it's really learning from those that have been there, done it.
Yeah.
Some of the best things you can do is sit down and have a conversation. How important do you think mentorship has been in your life or your business?
Oh, I wouldn't be here without mentorship.
Yeah.
You can pretend to be a pro at something,
Yeah.
but nobody is in the beginning at least. And even if you're 30 years into the trade, there's still things that you need to learn.
Yeah.
So it's huge, and I admit that there's so much that I need to learn still as a baby business, only 3 years in. But ultimately, in the future, 10, 15 years down the road, the reason why I'm growing is because I'm asking for advice or input from other
Yeah.
businesses that have done things in the
Important.
past or already know what they're doing. And it's like that in life too, not just in business. Everybody
Very
needs a
true.
mentor. So,
Absolutely. So one exciting piece is you guys are opening a brick and mortar shop.
mhm.
Tell us about it. What can a consumer or even another contractor expect when going in?
Yeah, so we call our space a showroom. Has a showroom kitchen where all of our samples live, but it's also a space for my entire team. We have a warehouse in the back, some offices for my designer,
Sure.
project manager, myself. But to clients, it's a showroom.
Yeah.
So when somebody walks into our front doors, they're going to see a space that looks like a home that you could walk into anywhere around the area. But it's also a space for clients to be able to make designs decisions. So backsplash, countertops, hardware. We're trying to make it easier for homeowners to be able to decide all of their selections in one space instead of driving around to all
Yeah.
the different locations in Omaha to pick selections.
That's awesome.
But it's also a very family friendly because again, I have kids, I have employees that have kids. So it's a very comfortable space to be able to just come in, make decisions. And so we'll see if I'm hoping it plays out that way.
Yeah.
We'll see when it's open, but that's the goal.
That's exciting. That's a big move. Good for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 years in, what are some of the biggest goals you have set for yourself personally, professionally in the next year? Like
Yeah.
what's on that top of the goal
Yeah,
list?
ultimate goal 10, 20, 30 years down the road is going to be for Kitchen Tune Up to be a household name. I want Omaha homeowners to think, okay, I want to do something with my kitchen. Who do I go to? Kitchen Tune Up. In the next year, I'm not seeing a lot of growth in my business. We're going to open the brick and mortar soon. We've kind of reached top 20% in my franchise. And so really we're
Congrats.
trying to work out our systems and make sure that
That's
we're
where we're
treating
at
our
too.
homeowners the best we can. So I mean, short term, 1 year, we're just working out our systems.
Getting that. So we're in the same pro. We grew
Yeah.
faster than our systems.
Yeah,
So we're
seriously.
in just getting stability. I think what is interesting is a lot of times we do find in these meetings that everyone's struggling with the same things, growing faster than their
Totally.
systems, keeping staff hired, keeping them happy and the right people in the right seats. And that's why pro is so helpful. You guys get to connect on all those things.
Yeah, totally.
When it comes to those transformations, what's been one of your favorites? Like, is there something that stands out that's been an amazing project?
Oh yeah, we've had so many in the past, beautiful transformations. I would say as far as a good story that goes along with it, we had a pretty recent project. If you're from Omaha, you know there was a tornado that came through in April 2024, and it specifically impacted the Bennington Lakes area a lot. Completely demolished homes, really impacted our community. So there was one home that was on Bennington Lakes, beautiful home, stunning kitchen, stunning cabinetry. But unfortunately, when that tornado came through, it blew out the window in their kitchen and sent shards of glass into all of their cabinetry.
Wow.
And so we were called in by a friend that knew that we could handle the wood restoration piece. And he was like, they just want their cabinets to look beautiful again. They have shards of glass in their cabinets. They love their kitchen, never intended to replace it. So we did a simple tune up service. It was 2 days because it's a
Wow.
beautiful kitchen and it took a lot of extra legwork. But we were able to bring their cabinetry back to like new state. And it was funny too because above the wall where the glass was shot through by that tornado, there's a shard of glass that's still wedged in the drywall. And the homeowners are like, "Whatever you do, do not remove this piece of glass because we want it to stay there
Yeah,
forever.
it's
It's
a
a part
good
of our
art
story."
centerpiece story.
It
Yeah, that's
is.
cool.
Yeah, so that was a neat story. It wasn't a huge project for us, but we're grateful to be able to help them in their situation.
Yeah, and true testament to your service is like you really did bring something important back to life. I mean, as a homeowner, if they didn't know, I wouldn't know that. I would think this is we're gonna have to start all over again.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
that's
an
what they're looking
awesome,
at. Mhm.
awesome story. What about you, Lauren? What if when you're not working, when you're not mom, or maybe that's all you do, what are we doing in our free time?
Yeah,
What does a
man.
weekend look like for you?
I'm momming all the time. Let's see. I spend a lot of time with family, and I truly do enjoy that. I have an incredible family. My parents are wonderful, and I come from a family of 9 kids.
Wow.
So we really like that is our life. My kiddos hang out with their cousins every single weekend. So I'm doing a lot of mom life. I'm a singer though, so that's something that
I
I
didn't know
do
that about you.
randomly. Yeah, really fun. I'll get into it with karaoke.
Next
Yeah.
holiday party, I think we're bringing in karaoke.
Yes, I'll kill it.
What's a fun fact about you we wouldn't know?
Oh gosh, I've lived in 2 other countries before,
Wow.
so I did a lot of traveling in the past
What
in
countries?
Australia and the Dominican Republic.
Really?
Yeah,
What brought you
so
there?
I was in a program in college. The goal was to learn about the world outside the United States, and I did. My first experience of college was going to Sydney, Australia for 6 months, and so that was absolutely amazing, and then I spent time in the Dominican Republic learning Spanish and learning about the culture and social issues there. That was incredible as well, just to learn that the world
Yeah.
is so much bigger than what we have in our local
Yes.
area.
Were the insects and things as bad in Australia as I fear?
No.
They're not.
I have a huge fear of spiders. Everybody talked about jumping spiders.
Yes.
There were none. I spent time in
No,
the
okay.
mountains. I hiked, mountain biked, everything. If there was a jumping spider, it would have found me.
No attacks from a kangaroo.
Nothing. No. They were the sweetest things. They're like little teddy bears.
Well, first of all, I never know what's real and what's AI anymore. Some
Yeah,
of them are like, it's hard to
that's
tell.
true.
But I see the videos of kangaroos beating people up.
No.
Not true. So you heard it here. It's not true. No kangaroo's gonna
Yeah.
beat you up, but
I
tread
mean,
lightly.
typically you don't get too close to the bigger
Yeah.
kangaroos, though. There's little kangaroos that are like knee height. They're little sweeties. You can pet them.
What's a personal goal for you this year?
Oh my goodness. Personal goal for me is to be more present in home life. And a lot of that falls back on the business too, to be able to put our systems into place to make that happen more. I've been really blessed to be able to work 3 days a week. And so I do get to
Awesome.
spend a lot of time with my kids. But my husband and I, we have goals to be home as much as possible. Obviously, you can't not work in life,
Right.
but to be able to be as present as possible with our kids and each other.
I feel so many people struggle with that balance, right? And you've gotten to a point where you're working on your business, which is key. What we try to focus is to get people stuck in it and get on top
Oh,
of
yeah.
working on that business.
Yeah.
What do you think has been the top 3 things that have allowed you to get to that place?
Delegating, I would say, is definitely the number one. I don't think that you can pull yourself out of the business if you're working in it
Very
day in
true.
and day out. Especially in the remodeling world, a lot of people go in being owner operator, and
Yep.
that means you're installing day in and day out. But if you're installing who's reaching
Right.
out to leads, it's not possible. Building a good community, though, too.
Yeah.
I have multiple communities that I'm involved in, and I'm able to, when issues pop up, there's always somebody that I can reach out to. And so I feel like it can be easy to get down on yourself or feel alone when you run into snags on a job site or with a client or your leads stop coming in. But if you build a strong community and you have people that you can reach out to, they
Sure.
might not be important from the beginning when you first meet them, but 6 months down the road, you run into an issue and you're like, oh my goodness, I remember them talking about this. And you have somebody to actually run through that with.
How important, like you mentioned delegation, but how important has it been, or have you identified that sometimes I think a lot of business owners, like you said, they are all the things within the business, which doesn't allow them to expand.
Mhm.
How important do you think it is to outsource the things that, like, for example, many try to be the accountant. You're not the accountant.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I tell people all the time because you could save so much money by having the right person in the seat.
Totally.
They think, how hard is it to invest that first dollar
Oh,
to outsource it?
it's tricky because I think everybody has a level of pride in the work that they
Yeah.
do, and so being able to set that aside and take a risk on somebody else to do the job for you, it's risky and it's difficult. But I've come to find that the more I delegate, the better my team is able to complete the work
Sure.
than I ever could on my own because I'm distracted. I have other things I'm
Yeah.
trying to push towards our next milestone. And my team, I mean, I have a design consultant gal, she is so much better at ordering product than I ever was. But if I had not taken that step to actually let her do that and release the reins on it, we'd be stuck.
I see you're very impressive. Like you at a young age just knew, and you just have such a good work ethic. Where does that come from? Is this who you are?
That's my family. I come from a obviously big family, but we have a lot of business owners in my crew. And so I mean, my first introduction with to business was my cousins own a coffee shop, and that was an incredible experience. But it's not abnormal in my family to own a business or just have a side gig.
Okay, if anyone's going to say anything about Lauren after meeting, what do you want them to say about you?
Oh gosh, that I'm positive, empathetic, and supportive.
Well, Lauren, it has been great getting to know you better, learn more about your business. I have no doubt that in another 3+ years, you'll continue to grow. Like I said, you're highly impressive. I can see how you've gotten to where you are, just the way you run your business, the way you continue to grow. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you at Pro.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. This episode is brought to you by Signovation, where brands show up and win.